everybody, what's up? Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Liz, your host here at Crimes Untold, and obviously, elephant in the room, I missed yesterday's upload. Well, parent life, parent-teacher conferences, you know, the whole shebang. I don't have to, let me clarify, I don't have to explain why I miss days because I don't get paid to do this. I do this because I like to do this. So, just a preface, I am a full-time worker, a mom. I do this for fun. I am an artist. I do many things at the same time. But welcome back to Vlogmas. If you're new here, I like to talk about true crime. Once a week, I do a true crime update for the week. And obviously, we are in Vlogmas 2023. So I missed yesterday, which would be Vlogmas Day 6, because I started Vlogmas on December 2nd, not December 1st. So today, I'm actually going to be talking about 2 cases to make up for missing yesterday. And then obviously tomorrow will be the typical true crime recap for the week. So let's get into it, shall we? Also, if you don't have Trader Joe's near you, please do so. Please find one, because I picked up the gingerbread coffee grounds and they are fantastic. Also, I really am loving, look at these, my claws. Can you see those? Aren't those fantastic? They're a magnetic effect. I don't know. I loved it. Anywho, so first case we're going to discuss, actually they are both unidentifieds that have been identified. And one of them was publicly acknowledged, the other one wasn't. So today we're going to be talking about the identification of the Sedgwick County John Doe, and then also the identification of Tana Locht or Tanise Locht. So first we're going to talk about the Sedgwick County John Doe. So on November 30th of 2023 this year, the Sedgwick County John Doe was identified. So he was identified as that of Harold James Crawford. He primarily went by his middle name James, and people that knew him said he preferred to be called that. So he was found back on October 29th of 1994 by the KG&E, which is the Kansas Gas and Electric Company. A few of their workers, they're just doing, you know, some community service in a field, and they discovered these remains. So it was believed that this male died approximately 4 to 6 months prior to being found. His remains were found wrapped in multiple layers, such as towels, bedding, some bed sheets, there was a bed pad, and the bed pad in specific was made for waterbeds. His remains were discovered west of the intersection at Hoover and 47th South Street, specifically 5600 West 47th Street South. And obviously this is in Sedgwick County, Kansas. It's believed that he died somewhere between April and June of 1994 due to the state of his remains, because they were of skeletal state. During the autopsy, it was observed that there was some hair on the remains still, and it's believed that his hair color is between like an auburn or like a sandy blonde brownish color, so like a blonde. I know that's a weird term, but that's actually a term. If you go get your hair professionally colored, they will ask, do you want blonde? Do you want brown? Do you want blonde? I don't know. It's estimated at the time of his autopsy that he was between the ages of 22 and 29, and that he was about 5'8" in height. And they believed, based on the state of his skeletal remains, they approximated his weight to be 160 pounds. This is the first unidentified case where I've come across them approximating weight. I've never seen it before, but just on this one, and it kind of like blew my mind, because I'm thinking to myself, how can you approximate weight based on just a skeleton? Then I realized, hey, they also found some clothes with him, but not like all of the clothes you think he would be wearing. They were able also to notice that he was in good shape based on his bone mass density. His bones showed no signs of being broken, and that he was of a smaller to medium build, so he was more of a petite male. He had some identifying characteristics of which they hoped it would aid in his identification, but unfortunately, sometimes these just don't. He had no cavities or significant dental work to his teeth. He did have signs that one of his front teeth might have been pulled when he was younger, and that he indeed had 2 teeth that overlapped. His teeth, other than that, were almost perfect. Like, he took care of himself. He did have some clothes on his remains as well. One was a medium-sized purple Bugle Boy long-sleeve t-shirt, and he was also wearing a size 34 pair of khaki shorts. So that with the shorts that's how I think they approximated his weight, and with the medium-sized shirt, because generally speaking, when you're in like a mediumish shirt in like the size 34, you're smaller. You're not as husky, if you will. We'll just say that. So they did take a sample of DNA, and it's unclear whether or not they actually tried to do fingerprinting based on the fact that he was skeletal. I believe obviously there's no fingerprints, but you never know. There could be some skin that's just like remaining on the fingertips of the phalanges, but you never know. Cause of death was determined to be homicide despite the state of his remains upon discovery. So May of this year, the family was informed that they were able to determine who the Sedgwick County John Doe was. And obviously when they do genetic genealogy, they build a tree, they try to find a living relative, they contact relative, and obviously DNA test is taken and performed. Obviously this happened. It was then publicly released on November 30th of this year that who he was. It also is known that he was living in an apartment complex east of Wichita around the time of his murder. And as of right now, this case is still ongoing because we've identified him. We just don't know who killed him. So the next case I will be talking about is the identification of Tana Locht, or Tanise Locht. So in a remote area behind the community college in Eugene, Oregon, which is in Lane County, Oregon, there were remains discovered on October 30th of 2005. The remains were fully clothed and were on a hill in a wooded area behind the community college. This was a cold case for many years, until a breakthrough of identifying these remains came to light. So with the help of a company called Forensic Intelligence Kit, that uses FIG, Forensic Investigative Genetic Genealogy, they were able to confirm that this was Tanise Locht, who went by Tana, or Tana. When she was found, she was unrecognizable and was almost a complete skeleton. It was believed that she was anywhere between the ages of 20 to 60. It was thought that she had black hair due to the small amount of black hair found. They were also unable to determine eye color, which typically speaking, when they're almost skeletal, if there are eyeballs still intact, all of that color from your irises is gone. The sclera, I think that's what it's called. You get a filmy coating over your eyes when your body decomposes because there's no vitreous fluid, or the vitreous fluid is still there, but it's basically slowly breaking down, thus causing your eyes to become like milky in state. It's really gross, but it's very cool to learn about. So obviously couldn't determine eye color or weight, and it's believed that she was approximately 5'7" in height. So the clothes that were on the remains were that of black Echo sneakers that were either a size 8 or a size 8.5. She had a white pullover, maroon long sleeve with beadwork on it, a black sweatshirt with this special embroidered work on it, had beads. She also had a long sleeve, a maroon Pacific Trail jacket, obviously long sleeve, that was an extra large and it had a flannel liner in it, a white silk shirt, light color velour pants, a black or purple scarf. She had a lot of clothes on her, a lot. Her cause of death still has not been stated at this time, and with time, I hope and believe that it will become known how exactly she did die. So obviously she was unidentified for about 18 years, which is, for me, it's still mind-blowing that it takes people this long it's taken this long to identify some people. Obviously we, like the Preble Penny Doe, years after, and they thought it was a female, but it was actually a male. Also, what I want you to know is that they also excluded this Jane Doe from another person. So they potentially thought that this was a woman named Wendy D. who went by Nada. She went missing in 2005. but she was excluded. This woman has never been found, so that is somebody that is still on their missings list. And there's a lot of John or Jane Doe cases that they are identifying now, that they are excluding a lot of these people from, that are still either missing or from different states. So that, my friends, is these two cases. So the Lane County Jane Doe, which is Denise Locke, and the Sedgwick County John Doe. I hope you guys have a great day and learn something from these two cases, and I'll see you tomorrow in my true crime recap. Bye, you guys.